Green flags about to fly. The sprint is going to be just 5 lights away here in Miami. Rio Harris to the right of screen, Alex to the left. And the sprint is underway, and it looks like the Red Bull of Julian has got a good start. Alex on the inside of Rio Harris. Julian out of shape. Rio Harris wheel to wheel with Alex. Rio Harris maintains the lead of the sprint. That looks like Parker going wheel to wheel with the McLaren of Malachi. Malachi ahead of the Williams. Then it's Lowell, followed through by Slava. In the Mercedes, you might be looking up the inside, going wide slightly. I think that might have been the Alpine of Jarvis Coyd. But here on lap 1 of the sprint, it's the Aston Martin of Slava. I thought going for a move potentially, but Rio Harris is leading this sprint. Alex going deep. That might allow Julian the opportunity. Slight contact, slight checkup as well. That caused... And that, I think that's flatbread in the Mercedes. And now, hang on, we'll just press the right buttons. All right, I think that is flatbread, but he's just, his name's too long, so I'll fix that, try and fix that for the actual main event. Malachi eventually sizing up a move. I think there's a move in the background. Adam up the inside. I see a wing flying off. And he's sending up the inside of Senor Ghosts. And Senor Ghosts once again in the wars. Getting damage again in a race. And now going wheel to wheel back down towards turn 1. Adam to the inside. And through goes Sucharek as well. So Senor Ghosts outside of the points. Mythos Speed, I think, has retired in the pits. Statlev's also back there. Not quite sure what's going on there. He's in the pits. Here on lap 2, another wing flies off. Loads of wing damage for all these at the back. Only one who doesn't is Sucharek. And he's now going through on Senor Ghosts and into 11th place for the Kick-Sauber. And Senor Ghosts potentially looking to fight back here. Senor Ghosts to the inside with DRS, gets it done. And the Kick-Sauber, though, will have supreme pace, little speed, leaving the session. So not quite sure what's going on there. Rio Harris with a 9/10 of a second lead onto this back straight over Alex. I'll try and get Alex to put the right setting on for the main event. Is Flatbread going to look for a move? Flatbread 4/10 behind Malachi. Malachi back racing after I thought he was going to stop, but he's back. It's the return. And he's looking to see what sort of result he can get. Currently 4th in this sprint. Sprint races, points ranging for 8 points for 8 points for winning, 1 point for finishing 8th. So it can be valuable, but it's not the end of the world if you don't do well in the sprint. But it's obviously nice if you do, I would say. Riding on board with James Nias through this quite cumbersome corner it can be. Applying the power. Jarvis Coyd is quite close as well. DRS train, Flatbread with DRS going around the outside. And into turn 11. He gets the move done. Can he catch Kalian Tovic in the Red Bull? Malachi now down to 5th place. And we'll be looking to settle back in. He might even have a chance to get him back straight away with DRS here. Because he'll get it down this long back straight. Gaining in the slipstream. Using ERS. DRS active. And back into 4th place. And can they bridge that gap? Alex seems to be a bit of a Miami expert so far. The Scotsman. And he is right there. And Kalian Tovic has actually dropped back to this battle with Malachi and Flatbread. So I don't know if he's made a mistake or what's going on there. But pitting in as well. Some drivers pitting in with damage, retiring from this session as well. This is only a 10-lap sprint race, so if you make a pit stop, your race is basically over. But yeah, Rio Harris still leading this race as he has done from the very start. And Flatbread actually choosing the hard tyres there, I've just actually noticed, because yeah, Sucharek gaining a lot of places from the start of this one. Malachi ahead of Flatbread still, Kalian Tovic. Malachi's picked up wing damage. He has. End plate damage from Malachi. I'm not sure if that was just recent or if that's been a while, but yeah, Malachi with a bit of wing damage. DRS train going back to Jarvis Coyd in 9th, who would just miss out on the points as it stands. No penalties so far. Flatbread looking to the inside of Malachi. He's going to get them both. Going to get Kalian Tovic contact with Malachi. And that is going to be even more wing damage for the world champion, I think. And Flatbread goes through on Kalian Tovic. Malachi is going to have to bail this out to the pits. Yeah, and it does retire from the race. So Malachi involved in an incident and will not be scoring any points in this sprint race. He'll be looking to get it back for the main event later on. That promotes Jarvis Coyd into the points in 8th. That is what he wants to see. Kalian Tovic now gaining on Flatbread, who just got him on the previous lap, so maybe Julian will try and get this back. Don't know if normally you don't want to get the move into this section, otherwise you just get re-overtaken immediately. And James Nias with a penalty for track limits. Alex doing really well, sticking with Rio Harris in this race. Started on the front row. He's still there now. And is he going to look to set up a grandstand finish to this race? Rio Harris hasn't been able to drop him, so have to see what the ERS situation is. Lol getting a move on Parker down into turn number 17. And that is 5th place for the Mercedes. And Parker now down to 6th. And Alex now really close to the Ferrari into the high-speed Sector 1. How close can he stick? With the rear wing of Rio Harris, loses out a bit of time through turn 7 and 8. And now this is where the DRS is so helpful, and where he can stick with the Ferrari. Gaining a bit of time on the previous tour of this circuit, Vasylenko, who is a Division 2 driver, but he's certainly been putting his name out there for just being a Division 1 driver completely, because, well, he's been doing really well in these Division 1 races, and well, I mean, we already saw it last season. The Williams, some great performances, so not quite having the lap times to get into Div 1 it stands, well, when it was first submitted, but I'm sure mid-season things will change as well. Alex just a couple of tenths away from getting past Rio Harris. I mean, he was close enough to make a lunge, but you don't want to make a lunge at this point. You just want to, make sure that you're still within that range. If you make a mistake, then obviously if you drop out of DRS, probably unlikely you're going to get back in. Sucharek, what is going on? Another retirement. He's picked up wing damage as well. So, no idea what's going on. But everybody, if they get damage in the sprint, I guess they just, no point wasting tyres or anything. Just get straight back into the pits, retire, and then go again for the actual main race and main race qualifying. Of course, a short qualifying today because of this sprint format. We don't want things to take up too much time. And yeah, a full quali, full sprint quali, everything would take hours. So this is the compromise. We watch from the rear wing here of Ruben Parker, rounding turn 16. As he looks to gain on Lawler ahead. Battle for the lead still there, and will be there surely to the end of the race now. Alex about half second back, as he has been for a while, just hanging back. Doesn't really have all that much ERS. Rio Harris does have more ERS at this point, so you see there 20% I think for Alex. Rio Harris about 44% ERS remaining, so you'll be looking to use that to his advantage. But with the DRS, you can set your ERS to none, recoup that energy. That's going to be so crucial for the last lap of this race, when surely Alex is going to go for it, or Rio Harris will try and drop Alex as well. But this train still remains intact, as it has done for quite a while in this race now. Lol ahead of Parker. Vasilenko. Coyd now quite close to Vasilenko. Perkins just outside the points. We'll be hoping for some sort of incident here. Wing damage for Charlotte. Perkins, Senor Ghosts. Yellow flag, Kalian Tovic. Whoa, there's been an incident in this Mickey Mouse section. Kalian Tovic out of this race. Just here. I think where Carlos Sainz crashed in 2022. Potentially. In practice, I want to say, he crashed. But anyway, there we are. Perkins straight up into the points. just as I was saying that Perkins could do with that. But Senor Ghost will be wanting to change that. But into turn 17, can't quite get the move. Rio Harris still leading the race. Lap 9 now of 10. Penultimate lap of the race. And Harris with a 7.5 tenth lead, 8 tenth lead. Yeah. Tyres getting on a bit now. Flatbread on the hard seems to be doing a good job, and Alex might have actually just lost DRS there to Harris. Has he? I think he might have done. He has. So Rio Harris finally shaking off the Racing Bulls, but he's pushing hard now to get back in. Rio Harris still with a bit of ERS to spare. It's teetering on the edge of a second. This is going to be crucial. This exit out to turn 16, and it is over a second. I think that is the chance gone potentially for Alex, unless he has a really good final corner, and potentially setup could bring him back in if he has good straight line speed, but don't think that is happening. So Harris is there. Now Jarvis Coyd just hanging back a bit from Vasilenko as everyone enters the final lap of the race. Jarvis Coyd so close to Vasilenko, but still seems to be holding back. Surely now towards turn 1, it's got to be now. You think Senor Ghosts and Charlotte Perkins battle. Coyd up the inside. What's happened to Alex? Alex is out of the race here. He's stacked it in the barriers. Oh my word. He stacked it in the barriers. Something happened with Senor Ghosts as well. Seems to have dropped back a lot from Charlotte Perkins. Well then. So Charlotte Perkins isn't just going to get no points as she thought. She's not going to get 1 point as she thought. 2 points seem to be coming the way of the Irish driver. Rio Harris now checking out up front. 3-second lead over Flatbread. Coyd getting past Parker. Parker, he's got a puncture. Parker. Oh, Parker. That might be another point for Perkins. Yep, that puncture. Tyre 78%. What on earth is going on? 82%. Something has gone on there for Parker, and Perkins will be getting through pretty soon. But rounding the final corner now is Rio Harris, who won the race in Japan last week and now will get the Miami weekend off to the best possible start by winning the sprint. Rio Harris with back-to-back victories, Flatbread in second place, the hard tyre strategy, Lol in third completes the sprint podium, Koid, Vazilenko, Perkins so Perkins gets 3 points in the end, so that's just penalties. And then, of course, the only one with penalties is James and Nias, who then Senor Ghost gets by. So Perkins, Ghosts, and Nias complete the points. Parker with that puncture, unfortunately for him. I wonder if he'd hit a barrier or something, and then that gave him tyre wear. But anyway, Rio Harris, maximum points for Ferrari, or maximum points for him in the Ferrari. Ferrari pick up 9 points in total. So, there we are. The sprint ends like this. And many drivers retiring from that sprint after incidents happening. So, maybe because it was a sprint though, that might have enabled more incidents to happen, really, because people are more desperate to actually, get a move on in things. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can fix Flatbread's name. We'll just see now, check the Discord. There we are. I think we're getting into the main session now. Let's just see somebody's pinged me. Flavio. Red Bull Statlev had an instant early on, and otherwise Kalen Tovic also just stacked it in a barrier, I think. I don't particularly know what happened. We missed Alex hitting the wall, and we missed no idea what's going on there. Well, that was bad. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Parker's tyres as well, because that was strange. He had about 20% more than a lot of drivers out there. But anyway, we'll get into qualifying pretty soon. Well then, it's time for qualifying. Some drivers already out there, on track already. And now we'll see how the drivers get on in a short qualifying session. So I think, yep, here we are. Adam, I think just is the first one out there. McLaren of Malachi, Sucharek, Flatbread. Wait, is Alex? Has Alex put the setting on? Find out in a couple of seconds. Alex! Should I try and tell him? I mean, there's no harm in trying. I forgot that when I type, everything gets murdered because I set the keybinds up for equal to do stuff, and then I don't actually normally use keybinds. Right. Right, here we are. Yeah, okay. So, Adam, first one out there. So obviously purple in the first sector. We'll get some sector time comparisons. Dropbook's a couple of tenths quicker in the first sector. He's the next one on a lap. So, in there, I think Sucharek has picked up damage from what I can see. So that is interesting. Picking up damage on his first time out there. Seems to be on the medium tyres as well. Yeah, don't know. Anyway, Adam will be the first one to cross that line, cuts the beam. It's at 127.4. But I think Dropbook's middle sector actually. Adam's slightly quicker, but Dropbook's... Did something just happen there with the Ferrari? Oh, I glanced away for a second and I saw a half yellow flag there. But anyway, Dropbook crosses the line. Lost about 3 tenths in the last sector, so I wonder if something did happen there, because I don't know. I just looked away to see what the lap times were, the sector times, sorry, and then obviously he'd lost 3 tenths. But anyway, if someone in the chat was watching, maybe you can say. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. Flatbread in his first qualifying session in RFC. Flatbread will cut the beam. Flatbread set the quickest time by 8.5 tenths over Adam. And his surname I still can't pronounce. I'm sorry, Adam. I will ask him eventually. Malachi on the medium tyres then goes quickest over Flatbread. So that's working well for Malachi. Medium tyres used in the short qualifying, so don't know if that's because of his tyre allocation or if he just wants to, I don't know, use the mediums. Have to see. Senor Ghosts, 3rd place for him. Out of those to have set a lap. Statlev just started a lap as well. And there is Alex setting the quickest time for Racing Bulls. And James Nias just 37 thousandths off Alex's time. But still, not quicker than him. Parker crosses the line in 5th. And then I think we just have a load of cars just starting laps now, I think. We'll see Statlev through the first sector to 29.5, which is slightly slower, I think, than Alex. James Nias did 29.5 as well, but Statlev a few hundredths of a second slower. Yellow flag through there. I think that's Senor Ghosts. And Statlev now to get down to turn 17. Malachi has done 1 lap, and that is good enough for him. Alex seems to be very competitive in this Miami race because he's got the X factor around this circuit, it seems. Statlev now. Statlev for Red Bull. It's only 6th. So Red Bull looking for a bit of pace. Sucharek invalidating his current time. Slava, I think, is out there on a lap just behind. And the Ukrainian Vasylenko will now bounce over the curbs and pin it to the line. And we'll see what he can do. Lol has set the fastest first sector. Slava into 7th place. But now we will see what the Mercedes of Lol can do. Purple in the first sector, Jarvis Coyd about 4/10 slower than Lol in the first sector. Coyd just ahead on the track. He's going down towards turn number 17 now, as we watch Lol bounce his way over the curbs. And now we will just quickly see what Coyd is up to. Because Coyd has done 2 green sectors, as he done his first lap, and that's 8th place for the Alpine. Lol, though, meanwhile, finding a green middle sector, not purple on this occasion, but I'm sure it'll still be decent enough. Crosses the line, and for some reason something's glitched there. We'll just reload this. There we are. We had some wrong logos again. Always wrong logos. Anyway, a few outlaps, I think. XR Rambo. Whoa, getting out of shape, coming out to turn 3. That was certainly not what he would have wanted. Turn 4, turn 5. The Racing Bulls. He backed out to this. I don't think he has, because he's burning RS. So, Rambo with a 30.1 in the first sector. That is not ideal at all. And we'll see him into the Mickey Mouse sector. Slightly slower than Sucharek did in the Sauber in the first sector before he invalidated. And Rambo the only one. Now Charlotte Perkins and Rio Harris have started laps. Rio Harris with a purple first sector. 29.3 for him. Perkins as well will be up to first sector split pretty soon. Just going around turn 7 now. As Rambo crosses the line and is in 12th place. So, Rio Harris going well on this one, winning the sprint. And now setting purple sectors, purple first sector, purple in the middle. Perkins 6.5 tenths slower in the first sector for the Haas. Jarvis Coyd a couple tenths up on Charlotte Perkins in the first part of the lap. Rio Harris now. Flat to the floor, crosses a line to surely set the quickest time, and he has done by just over 0.3 of a second to Alex. So that is exactly what he would want to see. Charlotte Perkins rounding the last corner, well, the last breaking point of the lap. Still got to just feed it through these couple of flat out corners, and it's 12th place for Perkins. Sucharek on a new lap, but with front wing damage. So has he clobbered the wall on this lap? Not entirely sure, but yep, we can certainly see some damage there for the Sauber. And is he pushing on this lap? I think he is. I mean, he just wouldn't have a lap if he keeps hitting the wall, or I don't know what he's doing, but yeah, strange. Sucharek a bit deep in the last corner. Now running up to the line, doesn't have a lap time, crosses it, and just goes ahead of Dropux. Dropux, though, will be needing an improved lap. Malachi has retired from this session. Don't know who else is actually... Yeah, I'm not quite sure who else has retired, if I haven't seen. Senor Ghosts, green sector 1. He looks to get himself into the top 10 at least to start this race. Senior Ghosts driving for the Silverstone-based Aston Martin team this season. Getting a bit out of shape. Into the Mickey Mouse chicane, invalidates his lap. So that is not ideal for him. And now, anyone else pushing on? I think Slava Vazilenko in the sister Aston Martin for this race is on a push lap, and he might be on used tyres, I think. It's not a personal best in the first sector, slightly outside his best by under a tenth, and again he loses exactly a tenth to his personal best in the middle part of the lap. So Sucharek causing a yellow flag at that last corner, which Slava Vazilenko will be finding himself in now, but he might bail out of this lap potentially, unless he thinks he can find time in the final part of the lap. Crosses the line now, and he did find time in the final part of the lap. So he does improve his overall lap time there, just about, finding a little bit of time, but he stays in 8th position as it stands. So Adams there on an out lap. Rio Harris currently with the best time we've seen in this session, 26.077. Don't know what the best time in sprint qualifying is, but I presume that we will be beating that now. And now we will see drivers and the rush soon on who can set the quickest time to be at the front of the field for the Miami Grand Prix in Season 6. Round 3 of this new season. We've already been down under. We've been to Suzuka. And now it's time for the streets of Miami. Alright, here we are. Adam just about to start his final lap. I mean, is he fueled up for more than one lap? I don't think he is, so he might encounter a bit of traffic here, which will not be too pleasant, but let's see him a lap on board then of Miami. With Adam into turn 1. Where's he braking? Just between the 100-meter board and the 50-meter board. Doesn't quite catch the inside there of turn 1. Now it's about how quickly you can get the power down. Uses overtake now into the turn 4 left-hander, slightly wide, coming out of 5. It's not an ideal line, and I think he's backed out of this. And has he got enough fuel? 1.9 laps, so I think he should just about get this round and it'll be fine for him. But anyway, Kolin Tovic not doing any laps so far, now out there for Red Bull on an out lap. And no one else currently is on a push lap. Charlotte Perkins will be the first one to start the final batch of runs. Slava Vazilenko running it late there, just exiting the pits now. So he'll have to gun it round, make sure he gets to line in time after he'd done that lap on the used tyres. So Charlotte Perkins to start the lap for Haas. And now running down to turn 1, gets the nose in. Currently down in 12th place, Charlotte Perkins will be wanting better than that, I'm sure. But always showing the capability to fight back in the race, including fighting with Jake Fluck last week, which resulted in Jake Fluck being banned for the season. So that was quite funny at the time. Charlotte Perkins with a good first sector, shows us purple on there. I know it's not purple, 29.6. So that's going well. Parker behind with a 29.5. Harris with a 29.2 in the first sector. So Perkins, meanwhile, into the Mickey Mouse sector now. Turn 13 and 14. and quickly straighten it up. Yellow flags deployed. Has Parker had an issue? Or is that actually traffic at the last corner? Eventually, Vazilenko should make the line. He's just about to cross it now. And then there's still a few more. Statlev and Flatbread as well. And Dropux. Did Dropux make the line? I think he did as well. Charlotte Perkins across the line for Haas. And go into 6th place. A lot better from Charlotte Perkins. Next up, Parker. Parker across the line into 5th. Rio Harris to extend his advantage. And he does, to now half a second over the competition. Sucharek with a 5-place grid penalty for colliding with Slava Vazilenko. So something going on there. Alex, meanwhile, green in the first 2 sectors. Not as quick as Rio Harris, but he wants to consolidate the front row here. Malachi and James Nias aren't on laps. Alex across the line. Alex across the line for Racing Bulls. He misses out by just over 1/10 of a second. Jarvis Coyd next for Alpine, finding time in the first 2 sectors. Crosses the line, and it's 8th place for him. Next up is XR Rambo. Crosses the line, is in 12th place. Julian Kalientovic hasn't set a lap yet. Can Kalientovic make a surprise at the death? It's 3rd place for him. Next, it's the Aston Martin of Senor Ghosts, who goes into 7th. Then is the Mercedes of LOL into 4th. Statlev, who made it to the line in the end, crosses it now. And it's in 9th place only for Statlev. Dropux for Alpine, taking a wide line there. 15th place, Flatbread across the line. It's 9th. Flatbread doesn't go anywhere. I think that might be it. That is it. So it's Rio Harris on pole position for Ferrari at Miami. He takes pole in the sprint. He takes pole in the main race. And Ferrari in the best possible position once again. Malachi doing that one run on the mediums. He's down in 5th. But what will his pace be in the race? Obviously, we've got a 29 lap race now, I believe. So a bit longer to see what's going on. And there we are, Rio Harris taking pole position over Alex and Julian Kalientovic, who just did a lap towards the end of that session. So there we are. Those are the times. Mythos Speed not doing anything. Is he in the session? Does he need an invite? We'll quickly have a check. I think he did leave partway through the sprint, but yeah, I'm sure one of his... Did Alex's telemetry work at the end of that session? Yeah, it did actually. Yeah, it's all good. All good. I won't type because otherwise it'll make a load of things appear. Anyway, time for the main event, the main race, where the main points are handed out. And Rio Harris looking to go back to back from pole position. He didn't get pole position last week. He was able to win the race. But can he this week go from pole and win the race? Julian Kalientovic did take pole last week. Rio Harris on the front row, winning from there. And now Rio Harris from Alex. Alex certainly showing why he could be a contender for the Red Bull seat. But I think Red Bull did just sign Julian Kalientovic as a driver. He's in 3rd. Statlev down in 9th. Can he recover from there? Some drivers not gelling with the Miami International Autodrome. You certainly see why. It's not everybody's taste, but we might have some racing action, and the barriers are quite close, so weather can get involved. But I think it's dry weather throughout. That the weather will update in a minute when we actually get into the actual session. I don't know if somebody is like gonna type in this when the session started, or if they're just all waiting for the first person to ready up. But I'm ready if I'm seeing Malachi forgetting that it was a short qualifying and just doing one lap on the mediums. I did think the mediums was a strange strategy to choose. in that session, but yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I think we're just waiting to see the first person to ready up. I mean, I'm not waiting for anything. Here we are. Formation lap to begin. Here in Miami. So, there we are. Starting tyres. What a weird and wonderful selection of tyres we've got there. Medium, 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 medium. Everybody's on the medium tyres for the start of this race. So, well, strategy should be pretty much defined, you'd hope. We'll have to see. I think some drivers yesterday did manage to pull off a one stop, but I don't know if, some drivers think somebody did get a puncture towards the end of yesterday's race. And if you're going for a two stop, you've got to make it an optimum two stop. You don't want to be trying for a one stop, lose so much time by staying out, and then, cost yourself in the end. What's Statlev doing here? Is he doing the Sonny Hayes? Yeah. Statlev going from 9th today. Can he pick up a good haul of points for Red Bull? Certainly in need of it. Those are the possible race strategies apparently according to the game. But, well, we will have a look. Of course, we'll have a look later in the race and see how tyre wear is actually going on. Little Speed actually not in this race, so he's just controlled by AI, so that's really one car go on. Everybody else, though, out there, and actually 5% tyre already for LOL on the formation lap, I think I'm seeing, so that is interesting. And here we go then, forming up on the grid. Rio Harris lining up on pole position alongside Alex once again. Julian Kalintovic in third, then Lol, Malachi, James Nias, Parker, Senor Ghost, Statlev, and Flatbread in the top 10. Statlev still just winding them around now. I mean, I'm sure that's more than 10 car lengths or whatever the rule might be. I don't know if that's actually detailed within the regulations. I think Suturek and the Sab might have just got disqualified and set to his grid spot. Some of them are missing their grid spots for sure. But, well, you've got to line up properly. Here we go then. Green flags about to fly at the back of the grid. The Miami Grand Prix is just moments away. And the Miami Grand Prix is underway, and Rio Harris once again has got a good start. And Julian Kalintovic is inside of Alex going into turn one. They're lagging on top of each other, and Alex is still in second place from Kalintovic. I think the Mercedes might have been spun around there potentially, or somebody definitely got spun. It was the Aston Martin actually of Slava Vazilenko getting spun there. 3 wide, as wide in that corner I think is an Alpine car. Wheel to wheel into turn 7. James Nias going wheel to wheel with Lol. And James Nias is now battling the Mercedes down towards turn number 11. Rio Harris leading this race. There goes Kalintovic being challenged by Malachi. Malachi in 4th place though at the moment. On the opening lap here, side by side goes Statlev. Statlev backs out of it into the Mickey Mouse section. You don't want to be going wheel to wheel in there. Senor Ghosts with wing damage on the opening lap. Slava Vazilenko seemingly being turned around. That's why he's towards the rear of the field. And there we go. Down to turn 17 for the first time today. And it's Harris who leads the way. Parker's in 5th, moving up a couple of places from where he started. James Nias down into 7th, and now we will see some wheel-to-wheel action, I'm sure, on lap 2 and into the pits. That's Senor Ghosts on the opening lap here, end of the opening lap. So Harris leading from the front, as he did in the sprint. DRS train covering the entire field apart from Vazilenko. In this race, Malachi looking like he's got the bit between his teeth now. He wants to have a go at the Red Bull ahead. And he's burning his ERS. We'll have to see how Alex holds on, if it will be like the sprint race again, whether Kaliantovic can get involved, whether Kaliantovic will not crash like he did. Kaliantovic a bit deep. Turn 11, Malachi slightly brushing the barrier, I think there. Gets away with it, and again. And now Harris still leading the race, but can Alex get into the lead of the race? He didn't lead sprint at all, I don't think. But now he will have DRS and the Racing Bulls closing in towards turn number 17. Harris on the inside, brakes late. Alex, can he set up the exit? Now looking for the run down towards turn 1. He'll get DRS again here, the Racing Bulls, and he's going to go to the inside and he's going to take the lead of the Miami Grand Prix as we start lap 3 here of the race. So the Racing Bulls of Alex now leads from Rio Harris. Rio Harris down now to second place, wheel to wheel with James Nias and Lol here. James Nias just ahead of the Mercedes. Flatbread in 8th, Statlev still in the position where he started. Sucharek managing to move up 8 places once again, and now he's into 10th. So Sucharek with another fantastic start there. The Sauber car making his debut today in this season. And now we ride on board from Kaliantovic as Rio Harris goes up the inside into turn 11. Malachi also making a move into 3rd place, onto the podium now, where he stood so many times last season on his way to winning the championship. And now he wants the first podium of this season, managing to only get 5th place in the opening event, having to manage some tyres that were very worn at the end. And now Harris in the wheel tracks down to the last braking point of the lap, and he's going to look up the inside, and Rio Harris is going to take back the lead of the Miami Grand Prix. But who's going to have DRS here? If it's Alex, the opportunity will still be open. It is Alex who has DRS down towards turn 1. He's going to go to the outside line. Rio Harris will try and hold on. He'll shuffle Alex to the outside. As Adam has retired at the last corner, and that is going to bring out the safety car on lap 4. So the Williams seemingly hitting the barriers. We try and see what's going on from Senor Ghost's perspective, but the car has already been cleared away in the game. So the Williams out here on lap 4, and that is unfortunate for him. He started all the way back here. Not quite sure what happened in qualifying in the end, but anyway, there we go. Safety car deployed. Safety car just waiting there, so safety car's not picked up back yet, and now we get a chance to breathe. And surely an opportunity now for most drivers to swap onto a 2-stop, I'd say, maybe. If you're at the back of the pack, you've got nothing to lose as well, so you may as well pit, take some new tyres, and then you just have to do 1 stop to the end of the race. I think Lol has picked up damage. He has. Front right. I'm always a bit unsure of this, because last week I saw Mythos Speed had damage a lot of the time, but then didn't actually, apparently, until later on in the race. But anyway, Harris leading the race. He did lose the lead to Alex, but he managed to get it back. What is going on there? Parker, James Nias, drivers swapping positions. It's going to be a battle into the pits potentially. I think I saw wheel-to-wheel action there. Anyway, here we go. The race leader. Everybody's in. Chaos in the pits. Somebody's staying out. That Red Bull, no, Racing Bulls and Rambo has stayed out. Traffic paradise in the pits. Rambo now leading this race. Started in 14th. He is now leading. So, but has everybody else stopped? Pretty sure everybody else has stopped. So that might not be the best idea at the end of the day, because if we just have a quick little look at the pit stops completed, I think. If Mythos speed, but that's AI, so that doesn't really, he'll just be a cork in the bottle, but Statlev leaving the session now. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Don't know if he needs to be invited back. I'll check Discord in a minute, but Exile Rambo leading this race. And Sucharek getting past. That's Statlev. Can he overtake AI in the safety car? Not quite sure. But there we are then. New tyres for the majority of the field. And Sucharek and Perkins. Something's going on there. Not entirely sure what, but we won't question it. We'll leave that with the FIA to decide. Statlev ignoring yellow flags, but he's not actually controlling his car, so I don't know what is he ignoring. Pretty sure people were overtaking him. Right, Statlev needs an invite. I did say I'd check Discord. Right, Statlev, your car's... Oh no. He's got a penalty. Right, we'll just make sure I invite the right person. I think. Right, I've sent an invite. Sent. Rambo's been disqualified for ignoring the yellow flags. He's overtaken the safety car. What is he doing there? He's been disqualified. Right, Statler needs another invite. My game always lags out when I do that. I get scared that it's going to like totally crash. So, Harris leading this race now. But I think that Rambo thing seems a bit strange. I wonder if I might have... I wonder if I might have caused that, to be fair, because when I invite, everything lags out. So, see that glitch happens. So I don't know if that's causing... I don't know if that lag from the game is like filtering through. Yeah, I think I think the invites. Wait, I don't want to type because it's just going to like destroy the graphics on the screen. I'm not sure if we're restarting this, to be fair. Just refer this to Deep Moon, please. I don't want to be involved in this. So, anyway, yeah, I can't be inviting people. I don't think. It just doesn't communicate well with other people. So here we are then. Lap 7 of 29. I'll just keep an eye on what's actually happening because I don't want to call for something that I'm not allowed to call for. Deep Moon, stop playing Minecraft and get deciding things, because the safety car's coming in at the end of this lap. So safety car ending. I'll just tab out every lap just to check what's actually happening, because I don't. We are going racing as it stands, but things could change because of this situation, which ended up being meaning that Rambo did get disqualified. And I'm just going to check and see what Deep Moon says, because I'm not going to call for anything to happen, because people have been disqualified due to game issues before and we haven't restarted. But I don't know if, since it's happened this early on in the race, that, you know, normally things happen in the second half of the race and then we just carry on. But I don't know what the actual protocol is. I should probably have a look at the rule book and see, because I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not in control of actual like stewarding and rules. Dropbox going past Coyd, and wheel to wheel into turn 11. Alex taking the lead of the Grand Prix once again. And on the safety car restart, hard tyres now on, and getting back ahead of the Ferrari of Rio Harris. So Alex now leading the race. Still waiting to see if there's anything said from the FIA, because if Deep Moon wakes up, then we'll have a decision to make, or he will have a decision to make. Coyd getting ahead of the Aston Martin of Senor Ghosts and Sucharek. Yeah, Rambo being unfairly disqualified on the lead of the race because of just the game glitching, just the lobby glitching every time. This is why I don't like being the host, because then when I do stuff, then that affects everybody. But surely sending an invite shouldn't mean that everybody lags for like half a second and causes them to ghost through the safety car. I mean, you'd think that that should be something that's part of the game, that doesn't happen, but it seemingly does. Is that Lol, I think, hitting the wall? In the background, he goes deep, and through goes Charlotte Perkins. Vazilenko as well. Trying to have a look. Slav Vazilenko lining it up, but Perkins now in 8th. Alex leading the race by 7.5 tenths of a second. And Vazilenko up the inside. James Nias getting past Parker. So there we are. Lap 10 of 29. Still nothing, I don't think, from Deep Moon. I keep trying to click, but I don't want to click too long. Would pull the rule book up if I had a chance, but I don't want to miss what's going on. Because if that was definitive on what it said, then I would just go off that. But I don't know if there's anything said about restarts based on like the game glitching. if I can have a bit of a scroll on this as Malachi goes up the inside. And Malachi now into second place ahead of Rio Harris. Kalian Tovic as well, getting past the Ferrari, who's not going to give this up down towards turn number 1. Rio Harris on the inside. And Rio Harris keeps hold of that third position in the race. He started from pole. Alex has now got over a second. Red flags and restarts, right? Race direction will determine if the session is restarted. Red flag may be declared if a mass disconnection or critical technical failure affects the session. I mean, that's really precise in what that says there. We definitely know exactly what's gone on and whether this is a critical. No, there's not been a mass disconnection, but there's definitely been a critical technical thing that's caused, you know, destruction of one driver's race at least. But anyway, we will carry on, I guess, unless I get a Discord ping. And Alex now still with over a second lead. Rio Harris, he got wing damage. He has got wing damage, so I don't know where he picked that up, but wing damage now for the Ferrari, wounded, and the Racing Bulls is escaping away. Now, on the previous lap, he's managed to actually get Rio Harris kind of gaining in a bit, but so he had that fight. Sucharek speeding into the pits. He's retired from the race. And now then Malachi running in third, pulling out 9/10 now to Kalian Tovic behind. Alex just about, I thought it was going to say just about keeping Harris outside of DRS, but now the Ferrari has got DRS on Alex here. Don't know if he opened it down towards turn number 11, but he'll certainly get it now on the run down to 17. Malachi is quite close to Harris though, he'll be wanting to have a look. But Alex's lead has been eroded. DRS train getting back intact. And now Alex with a 7/10 per second lead. Harris 4/10 ahead of Malachi. Oh, into the last corner. Kalian Tovic, he's dropped out on range. And Flatbread now potentially stiffing a move down towards turn 1. Not quite on this occasion. Kalian Tovic holds on. Head of the Mercedes. And now Malachi still very close to Rio Harris. And what has gone on there? Some sort of lag just completely occurred. What on earth is happening? Rio Harris losing connection to this race or something. Malachi has just swooped around. Yeah, Harris is glitching back ahead. Oh, it's all glitching now. Harris, I think, having internet problems, potentially. I don't think this is on my end. I hope it's not. Harris seems to, it looks like he's going off, but then he just goes back into the position. Like he's ghosting, and then he zips back ahead. So, he's all over the road. Malachi will be looking to get by, but it'll be a bit of a risky move, because look at this now. Every time Malachi gets close, then Harris just zips back ahead, and it looks like he's getting brake checked every corner, but he's not, because he just ghosts. And then Harris will zip back ahead, and then the same thing will happen again. He'll ghost through, and then he'll zip back ahead. I think, is he going to zip back ahead on this occasion? Is Harris now down to third place, actually, I think. Kalian Tovic having to take avoiding action almost to avoid the Ferrari. And now in sector 1, he's going to glitch back ahead again now, I think. And look, he's back ahead of Malachi. He's only 4 tenths from the race lead. It looked like he'd lost his second spot, and now he's going for the race lead down towards turn 11. So now in the wheel tracks of the Racing Bulls, has he got his connection back? I think he might have done now, potentially. Malachi, the only driver with a penalty being 3 seconds. Oh wait, actually there's a few 10 seconds for speeding in the pits, but they're not drivers who are like actually in this race now. Statlev being disconnected, Rambo as well being unfairly disqualified because of a game glitch, and that was really unfortunate for him. And now into the last corner. Yeah. So no, it's only lap 14 of 29, lap 15 now. So I think we would just stop playing Minecraft for a minute and like actually try and, you know, do some stuff. Oh, contact into turn 1. That's Perkins and Coyd, and Perkins takes the place head of the Alpine. So Malachi gaining on Harris, looking to get up into second place in this race. Harris will be gaining on Alex as well. Harris just holds a bit of a defensive shape as Malachi uses the extremes of the track and just uses the flat curbs to slow down the car. Slight tap of the barriers again, and loses the car again in turn 16 a bit, but still okay. And now, yep, he's still running in third. Kalian Tovic down the inside of Flatbread, looking to get up into fourth place. James Nias is also right there in the Ferrari with not much ERS remaining, but he'll still get a run here on Flatbread. Flatbread's got nowhere to go because Kalian Tovic is there. James Nias looks to make the move up the inside, wheel to wheel, the Mercedes and Ferrari. And James Nias is ahead. Can Flatbread fight it back though? Flatbread. There was Coyd and Perkins battle further back in the field. Perkins ahead of Coyd still. And now, yeah, Perkins there picking up the last points in 10th as it stands, but with wing damage as well. So yep, Rambo has left the session, but if we got a decision in the next couple of minutes, we could do a 25% race. If a restart was decided. But I don't know if restart... No, that was totally not Rambo's fault at all. And I don't know if it's chalked down as unfortunate, or if it's chalked down as like a major technical issue, and then it means a restart. Like, it's... You know, I don't know exactly what the rules are meant to mean, whether like one driver being affected is enough for a restart, because it could be, it couldn't be. I don't know, different leagues do different rules, and we have a schedule to follow. But I mean, I know there was absolute chaos in Jeddah last season when I wasn't here, and there was like 5 restarts, and probably not 5, but you know, they did a restart and then something happened, a restart, and then, no, I don't know, but anyway, some pitting in here. Perkins, 10 seconds for speeding. Not ideal at all. No, but well, truth be told, anyone in Rambo's position then, if he had pitted, then it would have been Would it have been Harris who got disqualified? Because pretty sure anyone would have lagged in that situation because of the way the game works the lobbies when, you know, there's just lag spikes when things happen. And there we are with Alex leading the race still. He has done for a while, but he doesn't have a lot of ERS there. Rio Harris with wing damage. On lap 17 of 29. Malachi potentially looking to close in on the Ferrari. And to the last corner. And Alex is still leading this race, but now is deciding that now is the time to pit. And he's sped his speed. Yep, he's gone over the speed limit of the pit lane. So that's a 10-second time penalty for him. He won't be able to serve that now in the pits. So that'll be 10 seconds added at the end of the race unless there's another stop because of a safety car or something happens. Trixie is saying to restart, so that, I think, might be conclusive as an FIA member because, well, Deep Moon's not there, so I've got to go off someone, so yeah. Yeah, how are we going to work this then? Because we're going to need to take the race order from a certain point. Right. Yeah. Let me just look at the procedure. Upload call, red flags and restarts. Flatbread is retired, so that's caused a safety car. So now we have an opportunity to actually work out what we're going to do because cheers, Flatbread. Right. I think, why can't Deep Moon just wake up and tell me what to do? Everybody's pitting. I think yeah, Flatbread will be back in. This is not what we needed, but it's the only fair thing to do, so it's absolutely right. But are we going from... Well, we'll see what happens. People are retiring now. And now we'll have to, yeah. I'll have a quick little review of where, uh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'll put track limits back in after the race. Oh no, right. um, yeah. I'll just have a quick little review, but because there's nothing that says when it should be, like if we need to, it should be, I would go from the point of, glitch, but I don't know if, it's a 25% or what is happening. So hang on. So it happened about lap 10, I think, potentially, maybe even a couple laps before that is when the safety car ended, which was, I think, lap 9. So then that leaves about 19 laps. So I'll just quit out of this. I don't know if I even, like, I don't know if I want to be the host, so someone else can invite me back, because I think my host is just glitched, so I don't want to be the host, because this is why I never hosted things before. So right, how long is a 35% race? Because I don't know how long, because we're going to protest that things are, I mean, just 35% of whatever the race is, but yeah. All right. If someone can invite me back when you're back in the lobby. Someone else will hopefully be the host. But then obviously we'll have to decide what the grid order is and whether we're going from like not that long ago, but Rambo can be at the back, or whether we're going all the way from. Why can't Deep Blue just wake up, please? We need someone who can just tell us what to do. Right, Trixie says 25%. So Trixie's ahead of FIA for today because, well, it says he's online playing Minecraft. Can he not see notifications? Oh, thanks, Senor Ghosts. Why did you say safety car there? Well then, look, seems like Parker's in charge of this, so just... Right. I think we're going to take the grid from when the restart was called, but Rambo can be at the back. I think that's probably fair, based on what they're going to say. Right, that's the order, I think. Right. Right. Let's just hope that stuff has been set up properly, because I'm not in charge of this, because I may have not been the host because I left. And then we have 13 people in the lobby. And we're just waiting for the grid to be set for this sprint race to the finish. Which should be quite exciting, but might turn into chaos. But, well, certainly the fairest thing to do. Right, just check what the order needs to be compared to what Malachi, Rio, Dr. Lowell, Julian, Go, Roberts, Coyd, Daniel Ghosts, Perkins, Flatbread, Rambo. Yep, that seems all good to me, unless anyone else joins. Right, I think it's finally time. Formation has been turned on. Right. Yeah, I want a formation up as well, just so I can actually see what the grid is before the race starts. Might be a good idea. Right, we seem to be loading in, I think. So, well then, it's time finally in Miami to get this event done with. Thank God for that. Really, the game just didn't glitch, and then yeah. But anyway, we'll have to add penalties on from before as well. Or those who sped in the pits. Did people speed in the pits just before that last safety car? I think they might have done. So might have to. Yeah. Anyway, penalties are like to be added back on. So there's a game glitch as a. Right. Here we go. At the Miami International Autodrome. The 13 drivers that finished this race. You're going to get ready. It's another sprint race. It's the second sprint race of this Miami event. I'm going to wait. It's going to... Hang on. Need to do a bit of tinkering. Because otherwise it's going to say sprint at the top of the screen. Because of the way I've set this up. I think if I just... Hang on a minute. Let's just try and not lag everything out. Visible one opacity. Yes, formation up. Right, I've got a bit of time. Just see if I can deactivate that, and then this. Just go like that. Save. Close this. Now, quickly go into the game. Shift J. Refresh. There we go. Practice saying RFC. Okay. Well then, Malachi has gone with a soft compound of tyre for this sprint. Rio Harris on the mediums. What is going on there? The gap's just appearing as 0.00. Malachi using AI mode on the formation now. Oh, he's back in normal mode now. Surely soft tyres are not going to be good. That is going to be a terrible choice. He's going to have to make a pit stop. There's no way he's making it with those tyres. The medium tyres were struggling to hold on any other sprint, so... That red going for the hards like he did before. Perkins also... Charlotte Perkins going for... Let's just see if I can... I always... It just says Perkins, but I swear I... There we go. It's a bit better. Okay. Here we go. Lining up on the grid for the last time today. The last time in round 3. Harris looking for back-to-back victories. Malachi looking to get back on the top step for the first time since Abu Dhabi last season. On the grid, just about in place. XR Rambo able to rejoin after what went on, which caused him to have a few difficulties due to being disqualified. So, the grid is set. The lights, 5 red lights ahead of them, and the last 10 laps of the Miami Grand Prix is underway, and Malachi's immediately getting challenged going into turn 1. Rio Harris trying to make a move. Someone's been spun around. It's James Nias. James Nias at the back, already down to 13th and last place in this race. Malachi leads from Rio Harris, Julian Kaliantovic. There's Dropbox in the Alpine. Lol, going wide. He's picked up wing damage on the opening lap. Dropbox is through into 4th. Dropbox through into 4th on the opening lap here of this race. So, Malachi leads. Malachi doesn't lead. Rio Harris is challenging him down towards turn 11. And Rio Harris to the outside. Malachi keeps the position, but Harris cuts back and they run wheel to wheel. This can't end well, can it? Wheel to wheel into this section, they go single file now, and Rio Harris takes back the lead. Julian Kaliantovic in 3rd place, Dropbox in 4th. Wing damage for the bottom 3 in the field on this opening lap of this restart. And now we begin. We run down to turn number 17, and that looks like Flatbread pulling to the inside of XR Rambo, and Flatbread does get ahead. There's Lol in the barriers at the last corner. Lol has picked up more damage and now is struggling there. Malachi with 22% tyre wear already on just lap 2. So Malachi, yeah, Lol now retiring from the race there. And there we go. So Malachi really going to be struggling with tyres pretty soon in only a couple of laps. And now, what is going on to Malachi? He's dropping down the field. He's going very slowly. And he looks to be out of the points as well now. He's controlled by AI. James Nias will be just breezing past his AI in a second. He's not controlled by AI now, is he? I don't know. Anyway, he's down to 12th. Don't know what that's about. But Rio Harris with over a 1 second lead. With now his main competitors seemingly dropping out of this. Kaliantovic just over a second away, of course. There's Senor Ghosts. Dropbo's going defensive. Senor Ghosts looking to pick up a first podium since Spa last season. And can he get through on the exit of the last corner? Yes, he can. But Dropbox will be fighting this back, going down towards turn 1. DRS active. Almost runs into the back of the Aston Martin. And Senor Ghosts gets overtaken, but now we'll be fighting it back on the exit. He runs wide and over the curbs. He's back into the podium place as it stands. He's spun around. He's in the wall. He's made contact there. And Senor Ghosts potentially making contact with the Williams of Parker. Not quite sure. Maybe, was it Parker getting involved? Drop hooks as well. And he looks to be out of this as well. We're going to have less than 10 finishers potentially here. Or, I mean, you should just stay in, to be honest, if you've got damage now. Still battles go on. Charlotte Perkins looking to move up to 5th place here. And gets into 5th as there's more contact involving Aston Martin. This time it's Vaselenko getting involved there into this tight chicane. James Nias now recovering back into 10th. Wing damage now for everyone below 6th position. As Parker, Parker's getting overtaken. He's lost his front wing. And there's still numerous laps to go. How many are actually going to finish this race? Charlotte Perkins, the first one. Well, the first one, if you go from back to front, that doesn't have damage in this race. Here's Flatbread's damage. And is he going to look for a run? Parker's retired from the race. Why is he retiring from the race? I mean, it depends if how the classification works, because I'm going to have to like combine the results of the previous race and this one somehow. I don't know how it's going to work, but yeah. Whoa! Somebody's just gone across. Flatbread, I think. Flatbread's just gone across, cut across the track limits. Those are the track limit warnings currently being shown. And there's going to be a lot of maths to be done there, because if penalties and stuff's going to transfer over, then we're going to need to add up the warnings from before and after. James Nias and Rambo wheel to wheel, and James Nias gets ahead of the Racing Bulls, now in 7th place. Rio Harris leading the race, but it's less than a second now, because Julian Kalintovic is caught up. And he's in the DRS range. Vaselenko with wing damage overtaking Charlotte Perkins. Vaselenko in 5th. Alpine looks set for a double top 4 finish here, as long as they don't take each other out. This could be an absolute dream for them. Kalintovic off in turn 1. Kalintovic losing out. Don't know what he's doing there. He spun the car. He spun it. Oh, Alpine are going to get through. It's 2nd. It's 3rd. It's a double Alpine podium as it stands at the moment. Can Kalintovic fight it back? He's not got wing damage. He just lost the car there, it seems. Rambo is in the pits. And now the Alpines are defending 2nd and 3rd place. This could be an incredible points haul for them. I think 33 points for them. Second is 18 and 3rd is 15. So yeah, both of them. Yeah. Oh, Alpine now running in 2nd and 3rd. We only have 8 people at the end of this race. This is why restarts often go bad, because, well, people are just not caring about what's going on. And yeah, if only there was like game mechanics to get people back in, that, you know, someone could have control and get people back in. But that's just not how the game works. It just decides what to do by itself. The Alpines scrapping over 2nd and 3rd. Who's going to be 2nd? Who's going to be 3rd? Kalintovic is right there. Rambo might have crashed. So, yeah. Coyd on the inside. Can Kalintovic set up the exit? He almost thought he was going to get the pair of them there. He is going to get Coyd. Coyd with wing damage now. Is that from contact with Dropbox? The Alpines seemingly collide at turn 1. What are they playing at? And Kalintovic is now in the best position to try and fight back. We have 5 laps to go of this sprint to the finish. And It looks like Julian Kalintovic is going to get the run on Dropbox here, down towards the breaking point of turn 11. He'll get it done way before then. And now is up into second place. So, yeah, Vaselenko in 5th, now right with this battle as well. There's penalties going on. James Nias is not far behind despite the damage he's picked up. I mean, a lot of these do have damage. Coyd has some quite bad damage as well, I think. And Dropbox is going to have a run here. Down towards turn 17 on the outside. Kalintovic on the inside. How will they emerge from the corner? Kalintovic on the inside. Just sneaks back ahead. But the Alpine now might get the run. But Kalintovic with DRS should help him out. Coyd will have DRS the second Alpine there. Kalintovic drifting into turn 1. And Dropbox is running in 3rd, looking for a podium finish. And Vaselenko's lost traction. He's seemingly not been able to get the power down right. He's lost grip. And he's lost the chance he had at a podium now, surely. Losing the car, I don't know if, yeah, that was just on the power or whether it was just when he tried to round one of the corners. But anyway, Dropbox closing in on Kalintovic. Kalintovic running out of ERS, so is Dropbox in the background. That's Charlotte Perkins round the outside of Coyd. Goes off the track. Coyd, though, squirreling around all over the place. So is Perkins. Seemingly no grip for the pair of them. They drift their way onto the back straight. And the main overtaking point of the lap. How close is Dropbox going to get to Kalintovic? Gaining in the slipstream, DRS active. Is there a move to the inside? Not on this occasion. Neither is there a move behind. But now, down towards turn 1. Is Dropbox close enough? Coyd looks like he might be close enough to make the move. Jarvis on Charlotte Perkins, but not on this occasion. Holding reserves back for the end of the race. And Harris in the lead of the race now, as he has done for quite a long time and today, but it would have been interesting to see what actually would have happened on that safety car we had at the time the restart was called, but on this occasion, restart was called then. And there probably needs to be an actual protocol for restarts, because otherwise, yeah, we don't know what to do, and it just wastes time. And it's just a pain. Dropbox closing in on Kalintovic. 8-second lead now for Rio Harris. Is now going to start the penultimate lap pretty soon. Harris just with a few miles to go before he can finally get back-to-back victories. Dropbox gaining in the DRS, and is only just 3/10, now 2/10. Is there a lunge? Not on this occasion again. But Dropbox is so close to the Red Bull. The Red Bull gaining a bit of ERS back though, now with over 50% as we start lap 9 of 10. But again, the move's not quite there. Coyd not quite able to get close enough to Charlotte Perkins. Coyd seemingly making a mistake potentially in turn 1. Maybe losing a bit of time, but then gaining it back. Dropbox close still. Come down to a last lap shootout. Kalintovic doing the right thing. He's recouping his ERS. Back up to make sure he's got a good deploy for the last lap. Rio Harris. Seemingly, has he picked up wing damage as well now? Is this ghost wing damage, or is he actually getting damage? Because, yeah, well, he's out in the lead by himself, and now he seemingly picked up damage, but I can't see where that damage would be. Dropbox not able to get a move on here. We'll be starting the final lap pretty soon. Rio Harris with almost a 10-second lead over Kalian Tovic. Rio Harris, a world of his own out there. Charlotte Perkins picking up a time penalty for track limits. Quickly check the warnings. Those are the warnings for each driver. That is what we'll have to see. Now, Rio Harris about to start the final lap of this race. Dropbox is going to be closing in as well. Going into the last corner. But this might come down to a run down to turn 17 on the very final tour. Charlotte Perkins with wing damage as well. Charlotte Perkins, what's going on there? Oh, blown into smithereens. What is going on there? Potentially on for a great finish. And then out of the race as we start the final lap. Oh, Kalian Tomic. He's lost the car as well. And a Red Bull facing the wrong way in Alpine. Potentially on for second and third. James Nias will be looking to change that now. He's going to be in the DRS. He's got not much DRS, but he'll get a couple of runs of DRS now. Kalian Tovic will try and overtake Vazilenko. Kalian Tovic binning it on the very final lap of the race. And I don't know what their plan is there. James Nias will surely be putting the ERS to none in this section of racetrack. You would have thought needs to be recouping that ERS. Up Jarvis Coy with about 20% more. And now, is he close enough to make a lunge? I mean, he's surely going to make a lunge either way. Meanwhile, out front, Rio Harris, who won the sprint just earlier today in Miami, now makes it back-to-back main race victories as he slows down to take the checkered flag and win the Miami Grand Prix in RFC Season 6. Dropbox in second place for Alpine. Coyd makes it a double Alpine podium. James Nias didn't have enough to catch the Alpine on the final run towards turn 17. Vazilenko's in fifth. Kalian Tomic is in sixth. Perkins is out of the race. XR Rambo is out. Flatbread Parker, Ghost Malachi Long, all out of the race, but potentially might be classified. I don't know what's happening. Let's just check their warnings so I can maybe do some calculations. Yeah, right. Anyway, those are the results. We'll just, yeah. Let's have a look and see what's being said. Has Deep Moon woken up? Probably not. No, well then, obviously, they put into a feature race, but anyway. I don't know what's going to happen now. If anybody wants to do an interview, then please tell me. Otherwise, I'm just going to end this stream because I've fed up now. Yeah, I think I'm going to be ending the stream there. There's quite a lot to deal with here, I think. And yeah. Yeah, that is it for round three. I mean, round four is in Canada next week, and let's just say I might be trying to get some kind of restart procedure nailed down so stuff like this doesn't happen again. And yeah, well, thank you for sticking with this. We'll see you next week in Canada.